Can't remember how long, guess I always been this way, running 90 miles a minute all night and day, doing things that'd kill a lesser man or get him locked up tight. Never meant to hurt nobody, no I ain't like that, just trying to make my way any way I can. There's a lot of folks out there wanna slow me down, make me act right.
My name is John Molina. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I was born and raised there. Moved here in Indy in '96. So I was up there for 26 years. All my family are all in working for General Motors, and they're all into cars and all into, you know, just working on cars and stuff like that. And I got into it and decided, well, we need to do some street racing up here in Flint. And it's a huge city for street racing back in the 80s. I mean, a lot of people did it every weekend. It was awesome. You know how it was back then? You didn't have the small tire, big tire class kind of stuff. It was pretty much heads up, and you negotiated car links and stuff. Is how you started that stuff out. You know what I mean? It was a blast, and we loved it, and I had a blast doing it too. Well, I've never really owned an all-out race car, an all-out, you know what I mean, race car. But you know, as far as building like a street car or something like that, probably the first one would be a '78 Camaro. What'd Jeff say? He had a Trans Am or something?
73 Z28.
Oh yeah, '78 Camaro. It was one of them 354 speed deals, you know what I mean, from the factory, and it was like, yeah, this thing's badass, you know. And then you know, nitrous was coming around back in those days, and a lot of people were putting plate kits on and NOS's power shots and stuff like that, and we're throwing them on there, and just everyone's having a blast. It was a fun time. It was cool. But I've never really owned an all-out race car before. I currently own a car that's capable of that, but we kind of made it more of a street strip kind of thing, because I'm kind of a pro street guy, and that's where that car's at today. However, we're about ready to put some small tires on it. We're about ready to throw some nitrous to it, and we're about ready to do some little testing with it, and you never know. You just never know, you know. Probably about maybe 15 years ago here in Indy, I started buying and selling parts. Just as a side business. I've had a 31-year long career in the printing industry. That's what I did my whole entire life, was printing, and that's it. Lots of hours. Every single day I worked. So I did that stuff on the side, and I would buy out just like even speed shops or whatever that was left over parts and bottles and plate kits and nozzles and solenoids and you name it, and I'd get them all laid out and I'd sell them all. And I did that for years. Then I built me this little Chevy Monza strip car, and I bought an intake for it that was drilled and tapped, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and plumb me a fogger for it. Well, I did that, and from that point on, you know, obviously your first one's not the greatest thing on, you know, it's evolved a lot since then, but people were coming around saying, hey man, you know, will you build me one? Will you build me one? Will you build me one? And the next thing you know, it just took off, and then eventually I got away from a lot of the parts, even new and used parts. I kind of got away from that and just been strictly building intake manifolds for racers all over the country. And I think I've shipped 4 of them overseas. There's one in Japan, and there's a few in Australia. It's a little different animal there. We took a conventional 4500 single carburetor cast manifold and did an EFI conversion on it, and then also a 3-stage dry nitrous system through one nozzle. So typically, I've built those before, but every single one of them's been on a sheet metal intake. Just something bigger with a lot more room. This is the first time I've ever done that on a small manifold like that, which is awesome for this type of racing and this type of car, because it's easy to work with the one carburetor deal. So yeah, it turned out really awesome, and you know, everybody's loved it so far. So when we put it to the test in the new Furious Styles 2.0, then we'll know. But you know, it just all depends. Like right now with my business, I got a lot of guys that already have an intake manifold that's port matched to their cylinder heads. It's already been milled. It's already had a lot of port work done to it, and I build to those. But I also have guys that call up Profiler or Brodix or Edelbrock and have a manifold drop shipped right to me, and then I build it from there. So whether it's welded in bungs, EFI conversions, single stage, 2, 3, 4, dries, wets, it doesn't matter. I can build all of it. Anything you need. It's really moved towards the big block Chevrolet 1 and 2 stage wet foggers, or doing a 1 stage fogger and a 2nd stage plate. It seems like the small tire, no prep, back of the track street stuff is coming around it really big, and I'm getting a lot of those customers, a lot of them. I hardly do. I ask everybody what style of racing they do, what type of racing they're doing. That way I can get them going in the right path when it comes to building something like that. And I've got some track races, but it's nothing like the small tire street stuff that's going on today. I just built a Nitrous Express 2-stage wet through 1 nozzle SX2, which is a kit that nobody wants to build. They always come to me to build them, and that was for Anthony Smith with MSO. Barry Nicholson just sent me this is a couple months ago, he sent me a big block Chevrolet sheet metal manifold that I built 2 induction solution annular foggers to it. I think it's for you guys might know, it's a real famous garage car called Rat-a-Tat, I think it is. Red Camaro, you know what I'm talking about? Yep, so Barry hit me up and said he wanted a couple for that, and it had 90-degree stuff in there. We converted all that to annular and put 2 systems in there. Let's see here. As far as, famous people that are on TV, those are the 2 main guys right there. I've actually sold a pre-bent fogger to Daddy Dave. Didn't even know it was him. That was pretty cool. Found that out later on, that David Comstock was actually Daddy Dave and didn't even know it. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty much. This month right now marks 1 year that I retired from the printing industry, and I've done direct port nitrous systems for customers for a full year as of my full-time job. So I don't work anymore. That's what I do. In the wintertime, it's more busier. Obviously, tracks are shut down and guys are upgrading and stuff like that. But I've been able to manage it for a whole entire year and make a great living out of it, and build a really strong reputation, I feel.
Yep.
All right, here we have a Brodix tall deck, single carb cast manifold. Came in for an EFI conversion. We welded in bungs, put a 210-pound injector in there, built the rails. Also added fogger bungs to it with an NOS titanium 3-stage dry nozzle. We have 6 induction solution 0.120 nitrous solenoids. And then we plumbed it all in line there, nice and tight, down low, with a carbon fiber effect looking line. And we also have distribution blocks on this side here that have provisions for pressure sensors for either Race Pack or Holley EFI. And this particular car will monitor that through Holley EFI. And that's pretty much it, what we have right there. We did some custom powder coating on the tube nuts and did gold. We have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd stage. Each kit is capable of 500 horsepower. This particular car will progress to 1st and 2nd kit, and the 3rd kit will be all in. And this has a big throttle body here that we gold anodized the top. I believe it's a 1600 CFM.
I can't remember now. Yeah, I think so.
About 1600 CFM. We also have an Induction Solutions burst panel here. It's got 4 plates spring loaded all the way around, so if we have any kind of nitrous backfire, that will explode out and relieve the pressure and pop back in. So that way the intake's not blowing off and landing in somebody else's yard. I'll just wrap up with this. Nitrous still the motherfucking front.
So within the last year since you've been open full time, how many intakes do you estimate that you've made?
I'd estimate probably 250 of them.
So it's easy to say that your intakes are in high demand at this point in time.
Yeah, I would believe so.
You'll be like, yeah, motherfucker. Oh my shit.
I appreciate that.
I'll edit all that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just snip out the
Did you record that part?
Yeah.
No, cool.
in head. We'll just snip out the in head math though and get
Yeah.
to the psh
Right.
and the
To get to the money shot.
Yeah.